For latest updates and short audio clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hello and welcome to the podcast Reading the Author, a unique show where we read author's mind and not the book. Today we have with us Ma'am Kanika Saxena, author of You Are the Hero of Your Life. Ma'am Kanika started inking books in 2020 and has authored 7 books till date, thanks to the lockdown. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing our show. We are happy and grateful to have you with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ashita.
So, ma'am, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, my introduction will be a little longish, but I'll try to make it as quick as possible. So, I'm an engineer to start with. I completed my engineering in 1990, and then I started working for some of the top organizations. I worked for SAIL, I worked for Mekon, and then got married, worked at Bombay for Mekon. And after some time, I worked for a company called Forbes Marshall. I have done my engineering and instrumentation technology. So all these roles were related to my field. And I was a very, very ambitious person. So I thought, I had dreams of rising up in my career, and I always wanted a corporate job. So it was all going well, and then I had my baby in 96, and that's when everything changed. And I was a kind of person who just couldn't leave the baby at home and go. I would be very restless. So that was the reason I decided to give up my job, because I couldn't do justice to my job with this kind of mindset. And I will not call it a sacrifice. I would say it was a choice, because I think I preferred taking care of the baby at that stage, because I felt that a mother's role is indispensable. A marketing engineer or a consultant can be hired anytime, but here I felt I was required. So I was at home, and that's when I took admission for MBA from IGNOU correspondence course. So at that time, there were no online courses. So I thought, by the time my son starts schooling, I would have completed my MBA. But that didn't happen, because I soon had my daughter, and MBA was going on. But we moved to Dubai because my husband had a wonderful opportunity to work for Emirates. So we moved to Dubai. At that time in Dubai, there was no IGNOU. Now it's there, but in those days it wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So then I was, a homemaker, and focused totally on my children and my husband and my house. And after staying in Dubai for 13 years, those 13 years had also been good, in the sense that we travel the world. We have been to about 20 countries, and that has given me a lot of exposure. And, staying in Dubai, we stayed for some time in Sharjah also, meeting people from different backgrounds, different cultures. That has increased my exposure and enriched me. I'm a person who is always trying to learn. I have a learning mindset. So when I meet people, I interact with people, I feel there's a lot to be learned. So that way, I think I have enriched myself. I have grown. And after 13 years of stay at Dubai, we returned to India, because I wanted my children to do their graduation from India. And then, fortunately for me, they did well. They got into some of the top colleges in India. After which, when both went to the hostel, to their university, that's when I decided to start working again. And I didn't know where to start. And I just happened to come across this job for a content writer. I went for interviews. I got selected, And that's how my writing journey started. And I did not know I had it in me to become a writer, but I did well. Like the clients liked my writing, my bosses liked my writing. And in fact, above them, Google liked my writing. So,
Okay.
the ultimate objective of a content writer is to see that the blogs and writing ranks high in searches. So I was getting that kind of ranking. That is why the clients and everyone was happy with my work. So, yes, I worked for 2 years. I became a
Yeah.
team leader in just 6 months after joining. And yeah, it was all going well. After two
Mhm.
years, I decided to, take it up on my own to work as a freelancer.
Hmm.
So I started working as a freelancer. And 2020, during the lockdown, I started my own company, The Writing Right. So I have a few writers and I have a few projects. So we do blogs and articles, email newsletters, social media posts, all kinds of content writing. And I have some specialists also, like for law, legal writing. I have people who've done law, those kind of specialists I have. And we do this. We work for global clients. I started the
Okay.
company yeah. And at the same time, I wrote my first book, which
Mhm.
was a lockdown story. So that book is my take on the lockdown, where it was during the initial stages of lockdown, which is March to May. And
Hmm.
I published it in June because for me, the lockdown has been a transformational experience. It has, directed me to look inwards.
Mhm.
Being locked down, I had nothing to look outside. So I started looking inside,
Huh.
and that completely changed my perspective to life. So,
Okay.
yeah, so that was my first book. That's
Huh.
a lockdown story. It's about the positives that happened in my life during the lockdown. After that, I wrote a few other books. One is Gift Yourself a Smile. It's about, as the name indicates, it's about smiling and happiness. Then, Are Teeny Tiny Stress Triggers Troubling You? This is about certain lifestyle habits that cause stress, and we can do without. Things like being in a competitive state, worrying too much about the future, brooding over past. So, these kind of things, how to identify your stress triggers and control them.
Okay.
Then I have written a book about the atypical tale of a typical Indian woman, that is about self empowerment of women.
Hmm.
And then I wrote a book titled Social Media Tomfoolery, that is about how social media is controlling our lives and how we can regulate our social media usage, and control it instead, so that we enjoy the experience. Because currently I feel social media is causing a lot of stress to people who are using it. So instead of getting stressed, you enjoy using it. So that is the theme of that book. And then, of course, I wrote this book, You Are the Hero of Your Life, which has recently featured in the Pune Book Fair and now in Goa Book Fair. And it will be a part of the Kolkata Book Fair, and it is doing extremely well. This is a book about self empowerment. It is about identifying your strengths and weaknesses, and by conducting a SWOT analysis, and then setting your realistic goals according to your strengths and weaknesses. So it's again, there's focus on self acceptance, self love, being compassionate to yourself, managing relationships. So all these aspects I have covered in this book, and it is to empower my readers. So, and after that, I've written one more book, which is Motivational Quotes for Modern Living. So, these are quotes that I have created myself based on my experiences in life and what books I have written. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That was a complete wow. Complete wow, I must say.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just now you mentioned about being compassionate to ourselves.
Yeah.
This is something I would, like you to have a more insight on. How have you helped your readers to understand this?
Being compassionate to yourself. See,
Yes.
one of the things is that we have set very high standards. Most of us, we are striving for perfection. We want everything, whether it's our family, whether it's our kids, whether any task that we set out to do. Okay, we want it to be perfect. And when it's not, when we don't achieve that, we are judgmental of ourselves and we sort of mentally punish ourselves. We look down on ourselves, and that causes a lot of damage. And I used to do it myself. So a lot of it has come from personal experience. A lot of it has come through my interaction with people. I'm also a life coach, which I forgot to mention. But also there also interaction with people that has helped me understand this, that what a big problem this is when people are not accepting themselves for who they are. And this has compounded with social media usage, because when you look at social media, you see perfect lives, perfect bodies, perfect people, and you want that for yourself. When you reflect on your life, you don't find it, and you are frustrated, and you feel miserable about yourself. Now, for being compassionate, one thing I would suggest is regulating social media usage. The less exposure you have to these things, the better it is for your peace of mind. Second thing is, you have to learn to say it's okay. Okay, now you may want something in a certain way. It doesn't happen. It's okay. This it comes with mental conditioning, which takes time. It does not happen overnight. And the next thing is, set yourself realistic goals. Do not try to achieve too much. When you do that, you will be frustrated. So
that's the main thing. That is the main thing, I would say. Like, people set goals which they themselves know are not, I would say, not achievable.
True.
Yes, and they set themselves on that track and they keep on trying for it. And finally, when they don't achieve those goals, they are, they find themselves being frustrated, irritated, and a lot more into a space where they cannot do anything after that.
Very true, very true. So it actually is striving for perfection. We think that, we do something perfectly, we'll feel good. It works in the opposite, reverse direction, because you end up feeling frustrated and you can't do anything else.
Anything after that, exactly.
Yeah. Another thing that you can do to, to make yourself at ease, to make yourself comfortable, is that before you go to bed, now early in the morning, you might have 10 things to do. And at the end of might feel, okay, I haven't done this, I have, you don't feel good about yourself for not having completed a whole lot of things. So just before going to bed, make a list of whatever you've done. You will realize that you may not have done some of the big things. Now, for instance, I'll give my example. Suppose I have decided to do, say, 4 blogs in the day. Okay. And if I, for some reason, am able to do only 2. I feel bad that, I wanted to do so much and I have not done it and all that. But I may have done some other things, right? Which I may
Exactly.
not give importance to. So when you sit down with a pen and paper and note down what all you've done, you will realize you've done much more than what you set out to do. And that will make you comfortable. That will make you feel good. You'll sleep more peacefully also.
That's so true. It's really required to at least analyze what one has done than
Yeah.
to think over what can be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
What all is
Yeah.
done needs to be appreciated.
True. Yes,
Yes.
you need to appreciate yourself. And I also suggest one thing in my books is that, cheer yourself, celebrate every small success. When you do that, that's when you'll feel fulfilled, you'll feel happy about yourself and every small thing. And when you do that, you will not feel frustrated about something that you've not done. In fact, you'll feel motivated. You that positive energy sets in and you feel more motivated to try something else.
Exactly. That's the true thing. I was about to ask you that how closely do you think passion and profession are related? Although I got my answer when you were introducing yourself, but again, I would like to know what's your take on this? Like passion and profession, how do you think they're related?
Okay, I would say that today there's a lot of talk about following your passion and doing things according to your passion that will give you results and all that. But let me tell you, it is not easy to identify your passion. And your passion may not earn you your bread and butter. So you need to focus on your profession. And while you are working, take up a job, maybe it's not your passion, but you need the money, you need the income to survive. So as you're working on your profession, spend some time with yourself, explore new things. Maybe you will uncover your passion. It does not happen that, you keep on looking for your passion and don't have a profession. So
Exactly.
this is what I would say. That is my take. And in my case, what happened was when I took up writing, it was not my passion. I did not even know I could do it. But once I started doing it and I started enjoying writing, it became my passion. I wouldn't say that I started with a passion. I started with a profession, which became my passion.
Which became my profession. Exactly. This is something I was looking forward to as an answer. From profession to passion.
Yes.
It cannot work like you are just passionate about something and you keep on hogging over it. And, I don't think there's a way after it. Only when we are working on something do we find that, yes, this is something I would like to work on.
Yes.
Rather than looking at something कि हाँ अभी मुझे ये करना पसंद है तो बस यही किए जाऊँ. No.
Yes.
Something that is giving you productivity, something that is giving you, I would say, weightage. कि हाँ अब यहाँ से मुझे कुछ मिल रहा है. Then liking it and working over it is much more of a thing, I would say. Am I right?
Yes, you're very right. And today, that is a problem with youngsters that I see, that many of them quickly change jobs, for trivial reasons, because this is not my passion. Today, I'm a digital marketer. I do it for some time. I feel this is not my passion. And then I shift to, say, data analysis. Now, I keep on changing roles, trying to find my passion. I'm not consistent at anything. It may happen that you do something with full sincerity, full focus, that might become your passion. I mean, again, it comes from personal experience. That's what happened to me. When I started writing, I was like very particular because I was starting after a gap of 20 years and I just did not want my job to go. So I was totally dedicated and 100% into it.
Hmm.
And then, that's how it slowly like became my interest, became my passion. So it did not, so that is something, instead of trying to just switch from here to there, focus on what you have, give it your 100% and see what happens.
Exactly. That is how the best comes in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, also, like just now you mentioned that it wasn't something you always had your mind into. It came to
Yes.
you after a long time. So, I hope there's no point asking, like, are you into books? Are you into reading? What all have you read? Or maybe is there any particular set that you would like to suggest the listeners to read about or something like that?
Yeah, there are some books which I would like to recommend. One is Atomic Habits. That is
Okay.
about, making small changes in your life and how that makes a big impact. So that is something I would recommend. And there is this book that I recently came across. I do not remember the name of the author. It's called U Square. So that book is about, thinking differently, like approaching a problem in a different way so that you take a quantum leap instead of taking small steps. And when
Hmm.
you take that quantum leap, then you become from U to U square. So that was something very interesting. And it was a short book. So that is a book that I would like to recommend. Another one is Start with Why by Simon Sinek. So that again, that is a principle that I have started adopting in my life. That is, start with why. Just the statement, anything I do, I always question myself. Why am I doing it? Is it worth
Okay.
it?
Hmm.
Should am I going to gain anything out of it? Or
Hmm.
is it that I'm doing it just because it makes me happy? It may not give me any results. So it is best, especially when it comes to shopping, if you question yourself every time
Hmm.
you're tempted to buy something, do I
Yeah.
really need it?
Hmm.
So that is, I feel, a good question to ask yourself before attempting anything. And then, of course, I'm right now reading the Bhagavad Gita. So, yeah.
Okay. So all positive and all good around for now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, other than this, I would like to know, like, you have authored enough number of books.
Yeah.
How has it been all through? Like, you wrote the books, you published yourself, you mentioned it, you published your
Yeah.
book yourself. So, how maybe tough it has been, or was it easy for you? How you looked to it, and
Uh,
how? Yeah, please go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, so as far as the writing part was concerned, like out of the seven books, one has been published by Blue Rose Publishers. The rest I have done it myself,
Okay.
self-published.
Hmm.
The writing was the easy part. Okay, that because I'm into writing and that's what I do all the time, and so that was not a problem. And it was just that one book led to another. When I
Hmm.
wrote Lockdown Story, in
Hmm.
that book, I have explained how I learned to be happy, by just doing things that make me happy instead of expecting someone else to do those things, to do anything to make me happy. Because I know what makes me happy. It's not about someone else imagining and trying to do it. So
Hmm.
that way I take happiness in my control. I decide how I'm going to be happy. So when I wrote about this was a brief mention. I thought that this is a topic I can elaborate on. This is something that I can share with my readers. And that is how the next book, Gift Yourself a Smile, came about. And again, when I'm talking about smiling and happiness, stress, which is a part of our lives now, how that hampers our happiness, and how we can manage stress to an extent, and get over these trivial issues which I mentioned earlier, like worrying unnecessarily about the future, or being in the rat race. Now, when we do away with these things, we empower ourselves and we can take on bigger challenges. So that was, it just happened in continuity. Now, that was the writing part. Now, coming to the publishing, the first book was tough because I had to get the hang of Kindle Direct publishing.
Okay.
And ebook was simple because you don't need to do any formatting. You can straight away upload it. But the paperback required a lot of formatting, and that took quite some time, and I kept making mistakes, learned from my mistakes. And after doing the first book, the rest were easy. Another thing was, the cover design.
Okay.
Initially, excuse me, I thought I could do it myself. And I attempted to do it myself, but I made a mess of it. So from next time, I did not take any risk. I had professionals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything that you would like to suggest the ones who are about to start writing, about to start with their first draft? Any advice that you feel is the best to give?
Okay, the first thing should be that you don't start with a very big book. We all want to write big books. I feel it's a progression. Start with a short book, because then you can complete it, and completing a book gives a lot of confidence, and it also pushes you. You feel like trying, then you are more confident to write the next book, and maybe that will be longer. So start with a small step, write a short book. And second thing is that be consistent. Even if you write, just about 50 words, but make sure you write it every day. Because if you are not consistent, you will lose the continuity, the tempo will go, and you may not
even
be
the
able to
idea may go.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
So it has happened to me.
Okay.
I wanted to write a book earlier. I started it. I had all the ideas in my mind, and I would get these ideas just before going to sleep. And I'd think, okay, tomorrow morning I'll sit and note it down. Then I'd get entangled in my daily responsibilities, and that book, even though I started, it never got completed. So this is something that I've heard from other writers also. So that's where I feel, just being consistent, just writing a little bit every day will help. And the next thing is, as you're writing, you will be tempted to keep on editing, reading the previous section, and maybe you're reducing some things. And don't get into that. First, just complete your draft, continuously keep writing. After that, you go back to the entire draft and do the editing. So this, if you keep on editing on a regular basis, your speed will slow down, your momentum will break. So yeah.
Okay, so this is the best, I would say, best advice, that write continuously. Consistency is the main thing. Being consistent is the thing. Yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. This was really good having you here on a podcast show. Thank you very
Thank
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure speaking to you, Ashita. Looking forward to more interactions. Thank you once again. Thanks a
Same
lot.
here, ma'am. Looking forward to having many more interactions with you. This was really, really good having a word here with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay.
Have a great day.